Hi, welcome to Cav Country. I'm Army Private Ashley Torres, and this week we're going to a new combat outpost. We'll visit some friends on the streets, and we'll see who's moving into theater. But first, when on the streets of Baghdad, soldiers are never completely safe. There's always that chance of an attack or an accident. Some days may seem fine, when in an instant they could turn into a bloody mess. Specialist Charlie Mabe shows us what soldiers don't want to hear when on patrol.
On the field of battle, the American soldier must be the consummate professional, and among those, no one must be more professional than the combat medic.
We heard Captain Fowler yell, needed a medic, so I ran out from there. I didn't have my aid bag on me, I had my gear on. Both my cargo pockets are always full of medical supplies for that sort of thing.
2 soldiers wounded by sniper fire needed urgent medical attention.
And I had to make sure it wasn't none of my guys, but you know, all the soldiers are the same, so just thought I had to do what I had to do to help them survive.
As aid is rendered, the patrol base becomes a flurry of activity. Soldiers rush to positions to ensure the safety of their comrades.
Ran up there, saw he'd been shot in the leg, his pants were covered in blood on one side. I cut up the pants to try and see where those entrance and exit wounds. Applied a tourniquet onto him, started to hurt him, tourniquet's hurt. So I gave him morphine. We took him out to a Bradley that was waiting.
Casualty coming! Casualty coming! ECP, turn on your headlights, they open up the gate and let you through.
And evac'd him to the TMC. We got to TMC, downloaded him, put on stretchers again, brought him in there. That's when PA's, docs, and medics at the aid station took over. Then they ended up going, getting evac'd on a bird to the green zone, to the cache.
Even after the injured are on their way to a medical facility, tensions run high around Thrasher.
Oh, sir, just take a deep breath. All right, you're all right.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
In the end, it will be a relief to know that their buddies are going to be okay. Reporting from the Ghazaliya district, I'm Specialist Charlie Mabe, 1st Cavalry Division.
In the last month, soldiers have moved off the FOBs and into the cities. They've settled into new homes known as Joint Security Stations or Combat Outposts. Army Sergeant Stephen Roach takes us to Combat Outpost Battle, and he shows us what soldiers do before they call a cop a home.
Barriers, sandbags, and more barriers. Those, along with a few tents and a parking lot, are the makings of Combat Outpost Battle. These multinational Division Baghdad soldiers recently arrived in the capital city from Fort Riley, Kansas. President Bush ordered these soldiers to deploy as part of the troop surge. Battle Company is one of the first to set up a COP and build it from scratch. While they set the barriers in place, comfort isn't much of an option. These troops can't sleep in tents until they've put up walls to protect them, so for now, they live in Humvees.
So to maintain security at a high level, obviously your comfort is going to go down a little bit. So it's been pretty tough, but at the same time, the soldiers still seem focused on the task at hand. And the more we build, the more that wall gets up, and the more secure we are, the easier it's going to get for all of us.
Ducati went on to add that while his troops won't have every luxury of a forward operating base, there are plans to provide a few amenities once the COP is operational.
Can I do, or we do, First Sergeant and I, at our level, to increase the comfort? And the answers are endless. Getting, maybe some sort of internet access, where we can kind of just use a password to connect to a local wireless network, so they can still connect their families. Mail runs. We can run chow, class 1 instead of MREs. We can change it up a bit and mermite some chow. It's all relative. If you go without, you don't know what you have. But if you have it all the time, you don't know what going without means. So these guys are ready to do it. They got the right attitude, the right motivation, and they know that anything above that is a real blessing and something that they'll cherish, really.
It should take around 7 to 10 days to finish building the outpost. Army Sergeant Stephen Roach, 7th Impact, for ROT, Baghdad.
Coming up on Cav Country, we're going back to Kuwait to see who's moving in. There's one thing you're for sure to run into in the streets of Baghdad. They're short, cute, and willing to take whatever it is you have to give them. Army Sergeant Holly Jensen introduces us to some little buddies.
Children in hordes greet soldiers as they patrol the neighborhoods of Baghdad. The encounters are all pretty much the same. The soldiers arrive and the young ones swarm in soon after. There's no fear in their eyes, just smiles as they surround U.S. troops, wanting to talk to them, hoping for a treat, or just wanting to touch an American soldier. As the troops move through the neighborhoods, the children prove they are in it as long as the soldiers. So with quick thinking, the troops put the kids to work. As the soldiers come to the end of their day, the children send them off in the same manner they welcome them, screaming and cheering, waiting to see them again. Army Sergeant Holly Jensen, 7th MPAD, Baghdad.
While most multinational division soldiers have rounded the halfway point in their deployments, the 4th Brigade Combat Team, 1st Infantry Division have just begun theirs. Specialist Ben Washburn takes us back to Camp Buren, Kuwait, to welcome the new troops to the fight.
The 4th Infantry Brigade Combat Team of the 1st Infantry Division arrived in Kuwait in early February. The arrival in Kuwait is the culmination of a year-long training and standing-up process that began last January. Throughout the past year, soldiers of the brigade spent many hours training and honing their skills. Upon arrival in Kuwait, nothing changed. During the approximately 2 weeks spent in Kuwait, the units continued to train. For PFC John Stockton of Battle Company, 1st Battalion, 28th Infantry Regiment, being here doesn't feel too different from what he's already experienced.
To me, at the moment, it still feels like NTC in California, because I've only been with this unit since July, and I've been to NTC twice. 2 full months in California, so at the moment it still feels kind of like NTC, but it doesn't feel really different to me right now because we haven't really gone outside the wire yet. So
the preparation for Iraq included Humvee rollover drills, spending time at the range with the M4, practicing magazine changes, and squad-level tactics such as melt, military operations in urbanized terrain. Units also familiarized themselves with new equipment that they will be using during the deployment. Not all the time spent in Kuwait was training. Units also held ceremonies to unfurl their colors in the combat zone. For PFC Jesus Mendoza of Battle Company 128 Infantry, to be here is why he joined.
I didn't want to come into the Army and sit around and do nothing, so I was kind of joined to come here. So finally doing my part.
The year in Iraq will be long, but the soldiers of the 4th Brigade are ready for the mission. Reporting for the 4th Brigade Combat Team Public Affairs Office from Kuwait, I'm Specialist Ben Washburn.
In the U.S., people don't have to worry about a safe haven for their important documents. Here in Baghdad, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is helping people have the same peace of mind. Troy Roland has that story.
Birth certificates, deeds, and even older historical papers. These items are important to any country's infrastructure. Maintaining their safety is as important as the workers who maintain and catalog them. The Iraqis have such a facility, but it's not in the best of areas. That's where the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers comes in. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in Iraq, along with Iraqi engineers and construction workers, have a new project in the works.
This project is the Iraqi Secure Document Storage Facility. It's in conjunction with the courthouse. This is where the courthouse is going to store all their important documents, both historical and current.
The new facility, under construction in the Green Zone, is a 6-room building with all the modern equipment and safety devices that, when completed, will provide a safe haven for the important papers and peace of mind.
The current location is in a very dangerous place. They have no water there, hardly ever any electricity, and they're getting mortared and rockets all day, every day. So this project is really important to go ahead and get completed so we can get those important documents and those people out of that location into a safer place.
The structure is scheduled to be completed next spring, and when it is, Lieutenant Harrison has a message for the relocating personnel.
Welcome, and just let them know that the facility that they're in now is 1,000 times better than where they were before. Just kind of, you know, put their minds and their souls at ease, because I know they have to be freaking out every day over there because it's so dangerous. And just to let them know that they're in a better, safer environment.
For the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Public Affairs Office, I'm Troy Roland.
Well, that's all the Cav Country we have for you this week. If you liked what you saw and you just have to see more, you can always check us out at www.cavcountry.net for the latest on the first team. You can read the Daily Charge, our daily e-newsletter, or listen to our radio show, The Cav Roundup. I'm Army Private Ashley Torres. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.